Have you ever tried looking up a legal document online only to find yourself completely lost in this endless maze of government websites, broken links, and hidden fees? Yeah, it's the worst. If you're trying to locate divorce records in the state of New Mexico, you are definitely not alone in feeling that frustration. But don't worry, because today we're diving right into this explainer to completely solve that bureaucratic puzzle. By the time we're done here, you're going to have a clear, step-by-step roadmap to navigate the New Mexico system like a total pro.
You know, so many people hit an absolute brick wall when searching for these documents. And honestly, it's usually because they're instinctively looking in the exact wrong place. You might naturally think, hey, it's a major life event, let me just check the Department of Health. Nope. Today, we're putting you on the digital fast track. We'll show you exactly how the New Mexico system is uniquely structured, which is going to save you hours of wasted time.
Here's the deal. Unlike birth or death certificates, which actually are held by the Department of Health's Bureau of Vital Records, divorce records are exclusively judicial documents. In New Mexico, they are maintained strictly by the district courts. So if you go digging through those executive health registries, you won't find a single divorce decree. It's literally just looking for a needle in the wrong haystack. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll navigate the record maze, understand what NM divorce records actually are, look at some free online search tools, talk about upgrading your access, go over privacy laws and sealed files, and finally, outline your next steps. Let's jump right into understanding these records. We really need to clarify exactly what documents we're hunting for within the New Mexico legal framework. When people say they want divorce records, they're usually after one specific, highly important piece of paper. The big one you're looking for is the final decree of dissolution of marriage. This is the judge's official court order that legally ends the marriage. And what makes this document absolutely crucial is that it holds all the legally binding terms of the separation. We're talking the marital settlement agreement, how property is split up, who takes on which debts, and of course, if kids are involved, the custody plan and child support obligations. It's the whole shebang. Now, to put this into perspective, just look at how strict the separation of powers is in the state. This is exactly why you have to focus your search on the judicial branch's district courts. Notice how county clerks handle marriage licenses? That trips a lot of people up. They do not hold divorce decrees. And the Bureau of Vital Records? Again, just births and deaths. Once you grasp this structure, you instantly know where to point your compass. Okay, let's move on to the really good stuff. Free online search tools. Now that we know we need the district courts, how do we actually access their files? Well, you can do the heavy lifting right from your couch without paying a single dime. Here's your step-by-step. First, open up your browser and head over to the New Mexico Case Lookup portal. The URL is caselookup.nmcourts.gov. Or, if you prefer, they actually have an ad-free mobile app you can grab. Once you're in, you just search by entering the first and last name of either spouse. If you're dealing with a super common name and getting flooded with results, just filter it down by the specific district court location or a date range. Then click on the right case and boom, you're looking at the case docket. You'll instantly see the filing date, whether it's open or closed, the judge assigned, and a complete register of actions. And here is a massive pro tip for you. If you already have the exact case number, something formatted like D202 DM 2024-12345, you can just plug that directly into the system. Doing this completely bypasses the general name index and drops you straight into the specific docket you need. It is a total game changer for saving time. But wait, there is one absolutely crucial detail to keep in mind, and that is the year 1997. This free online lookup system is amazing, but it only contains electronic court records dating back to 1997. So, if the divorce happened in 96 or earlier, yeah, you won't find it in this digital database. We'll cover exactly how to handle those older historical records in just a second. Let's talk about upgrading your access. Because while that free case lookup tool is fantastic for getting a summary of a case, it doesn't actually let you read the PDF documents themselves. Let's see how you can get your hands on those. The state operates a secure, tiered platform called ResearchNM for actual document access. Now, if you're a registered, self-represented party on a case, which basically means you're acting as your own attorney, legally known as pro se, you can register for an account here. By submitting an application, you get Tier 1 access. This lets you securely view and download your own unsealed case PDFs. It even has this really cool automated case alert system that shoots you an email the very second a new filing or update drops in your case. But what if you aren't actually a party to the case? What if you're just a member of the general public doing some research? Well, you can't download those actual PDFs online for free. However, Since these are public records, you absolutely can request physical or electronic copies directly from the court clerk. The standard fee across all New Mexico district courts is 35 cents per page. I mean, bureaucracy rarely gives anything away completely for free, right? But 35 cents is definitely affordable. Plus, some courts, like the 2nd Judicial District in Bernalillo County, even have an online portal where you can submit this request digitally. Moving on to privacy laws and sealed files. Before you finalize your search and pay for those copies, it is absolutely vital to understand how state privacy laws might restrict what you're actually allowed to see. Even though these are public court proceedings, New Mexico has some pretty strict guidelines to protect personal data. So even when you do get your hands on a public divorce file, you're going to notice certain things are just blacked out. Under NSMSA Section 1426, sensitive personal identifiers are strictly protected. We're talking about things like driver's license numbers, social security numbers, and specific bank or financial account details. Those will all be heavily redacted before anyone from the public is allowed to inspect the file. Occasionally, you might hit a wall where an entire case file is blocked from view because it's been sealed. But New Mexico Rule 1079 sets a super high bar for this. As the rule states, an overriding interest must exist that supersedes the public's right to access records. What this basically means is that full records are rarely sealed completely unless there is a proven substantial likelihood of prejudice if the info gets out. It has to be very narrowly tailored. So generally speaking, you really don't have to worry about standard divorce records being entirely hidden from view. All right, let's wrap this explainer up with your next steps and a quick disclaimer. We need to organize exactly where you're going based on the historical timeline of the records you're hunting for. Your whole search strategy really just depends on the era. This timeline shows you exactly where to point your search based on when the divorce decree was actually granted. For modern cases, so 1997 to the present, you head straight to that online NM case lookup portal we talked about. For cases falling between 1912 and 1996, you actually need to contact the specific district court clerk's office directly to pull those physical files. And if you're going way back, doing some deep genealogical research for records prior to 1912, the territorial era, those historical files are safely tucked away with the State Records Center and Archives in Santa Fe. Just a quick note before we finish up. Please keep in mind that this overview is strictly for educational purposes. Navigating court systems can be surprisingly nuanced, So you should always consult a legal expert or an attorney for official professional advice, especially if you are actively involved in a legal proceeding. So, with the bureaucratic maze finally decoded, the right branch of government identified, and the absolute best free digital tools right at your fingertips, you are officially equipped to confidently locate New Mexico divorce records quickly and accurately. But it does leave us with an interesting thought. In this modern era of digital transparency, where exactly is the perfect balance between our right to access public records and a family's fundamental right to digital privacy? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy searching.